This summer, we are making a cookbook of popsicle flavors. All the different ways you can combine juice, yogurt, fruit, water, the water flavor mixes to make popsicles.
If there isn't at least one act of cooking in your cookbook, I will riot. You have to cook one of the popsicles.
Raising a well-behaved child in this world requires strict discipline and punishment. Today, we will look...
No, we will not.
Hello and welcome to Childproof. I'm Tori Phantom.
And I'm Gwenna Lathland, and I've got good news.
Oh yeah? What's that?
You know how last week I said I wouldn't promise that we would do a part 2 on getting ready for summer? I made no promises, but we're doing it anyway.
I mean, you did say we would do it eventually.
Yeah, eventually is now.
Yep. And that's mostly because we're in the get ready for summer mode, like in our real lives. That's all we're doing. Day camps, pool trips, deciding how much screen time is appropriate. Is
all of it the correct answer? I feel like all of it is not. All of it would make it easier, but also my kids would act like jerks after too much screens.
All of it is what we're doing personally. My screen time just shames me every week. So let's start the timer.
No, my screen time. I'm like, all right, kids, you've had 2 hours, and that is a lot for you. Meanwhile, my screen time, you were on this phone for 18 hours yesterday, bitch.
Stop it. No.
Stop.
Yeah.
Standards.
Yeah, I have my kids set
I don't
the
like
timer.
my screen time report. I need to turn that off. It hurts my feelings, and I'm not going to change the behavior.
And I'm like, it's probably just because I was recording that video, and so the screen was on, but I wasn't looking at it. I'm like justifying it to myself.
And that's the other thing. My screen never turns off unless I timer it off because I do so much filming and editing, and sometimes my phone would turn off. Anyway, so we're not talking about our crappy screen time habits. We're talking about all the things we're trying to figure out how to do to keep our children from developing crappy screen time habits at the age of 7. They're gonna get them. Like, it's the 21st century. They're going to have a horrible relationship with technology. Like, we can acknowledge that as a species.
Absolutely, all of us, every single one of us is.
We're doomed at this point.
My teenager is like, why do you
say that again, because you're still awkward about it.
I know, my teenager.
Yeah.
My teenager is like, well, why do I have to go to bed at this time? Which is like much later nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Especially like moving into summer. It's like, 10 o'clock most nights. Now and then we go later. Well, but my friends stay up until 1 or 2 in the morning.
And if your friends jumped off a bridge, listen.
Yeah, and I don't even go that route. I do that. I'm like, you're my child.
Right.
No, because you're never going to fix it. And my kid is like, okay, but what's the worst that could happen if I only slept for 5 hours a night? I said, you'd be just like me. It's miserable. And they're like, okay, yeah, no, that's fair.
So do you guys do a summer bucket list?
No. Are
you going to do a summer bucket list?
I have been thinking about it since our last episode, and I brought it up to my kids.
Yeah,
I did between our last recording and this one, and I was like, "What do you guys want to do?" And they're all like, "I don't know."
Let's just stay home. Well, and see, here's the thing is I have 3 extroverted children. Actually, no, I have 2 extroverted children. One's going to end up introverted. He's trying real hard to be extroverted like his sister, but he's not. So I have my children who like enjoy leaving the house. I'm very much looking forward to my introverted little boy actually just accepting that he's introverted and does not like leaving the house, because then he and I can just stay in the house while the rest of them leave. But my kids are all about the bucket list, but also I've been doing a bucket list since Abby was the age of the littles. So it's just, of course, we were doing bucket lists when they were like 2 and couldn't read and didn't care and weren't participating.
I don't know. I think that the struggle that we face too is because you have like that huge age gap. Yeah. And so your littles are newer into the age where doing things is an interesting thing to them, right? And at that point, when they enter that age, your oldest was able to be like, I'm opting out of this one. I'm going to stay home. I'm going to go do this. Whereas the age gaps in mine, trying to find the thing that all of them would want to do. And I don't want to constantly, because my teenager can choose to opt out. But if they're opting out of everything, then that mom guilt hits me. But then the things that my eldest wants to do, well, what are the chances that my youngest can even do it? And I don't have, Jim is
but that's
working,
not how bucket
so
lists work. Bucket lists aren't everybody in the pool all the time.
Well, I'm thinking of family, though. Like, I'm talking in the broad sense of a family bucket list and the individual. So, like, that's as mom, I'm thinking in a family way. And that's where I get hung up, is that
See, we absolutely put individual goals. We have the bucket list, and we've got things to do with family. Last year, my son decided that on his summer bucket list was dig a hole.
I remember that. And then he dug the hole.
He dug the hole.
I was so excited for that.
But no one else wanted to dig the hole. He got to dig the hole. So he dug the hole. And to this day, he still thinks he dug the whole hole, and Dad did not have to return with a post digger to actually dig the hole that needed to be dug so we could plant the bat house. But yeah, he dug that hole.
A bat house. That tracks. Of course you have a bat house.
I have a bat house.
You just somehow didn't ever mention that, but I'm not at all surprised.
Yeah, the hole my son dug was turned into the hole that we used to put the big flagpole in that has the bat house attached to it.
That's
because
awesome.
We are friendly to. Also, I'm planting a bush called a Texas lilac. I don't like plants. I don't like the outside. I do like butterflies. So we don't. That's
valid.
We like pollinators. So
last year I got a bird feeder and I remembered to fill it once.
I almost bought one of those bird feeders with the video camera.
I just got a suet one, just like the little.
Just refilled
cage.
It once.
I'm
gonna watch.
I never refilled it. I just filled it once.
There was not a second go where we could add the prefix to it.
Yeah.
No, but the summer bucket list, you can absolutely have like a column for child A, a column for child B, a column for family things.
Yeah.
And when we put on a bucket list, like we think of the museums and the zoo and the beach or the lake trips, the pool, those things are easy. What I really like making my kids do for their bucket list is I want you to think of what things do you want to try? What goals do you want to complete? One year, my eldest daughter and I decided to look through the Guinness Book of World Records, find one that we thought we could do, and try to beat the Guinness World Record. Like that was our summer goal. So when you're looking at, I can't go to the indoor playground because my older kid is too big and they're just going to be bored. And I can't go to the water park because my younger kid can't swim yet. And we have swim lessons.
And I can't go to the zoo because I'm the only one who likes the zoo and my kids are going to complain and ruin it for me.
But really your summer bucket list, especially in this economy, especially if I was going to say if you're living in the United States, but honestly, this economy crap is hitting globally. So especially in this economy, outings aren't going on our summer bucket list this year, which is odd. There are a couple things that are just family traditions. Like there's a snow cone stand in town. We will in fact be going to the snow cone stand.
Yeah.
We will have outings, but we have a lifetime membership at the Dinosaur Museum. So we'll be going to the Dinosaur Museum. Yeah. Those are things that we just kind of have, so we get to use them. We have a library in town, so we'll be going to the library.
Yeah, but we've never been big on outings. Like for summers, we usually only ever do like one or two like big quote unquote like
that's
to
where
the
bucket
museum or
list
whatever
comes back in. It's not where you go, it's what you do.
Yeah. And that's, I will say, I know for my youngest, probably what would be on her bucket list is to ride her bike independently. Because my middlest and I go on bike rides all the time. My eldest has no interest in riding a bike. I don't know what that is. It's just been like, it seems like I could fall in a ditch. I'm good. All right. But my youngest, I got the big kid bike because we outgrew the balance bike. But we didn't outgrow the balance bike by learning how to balance on it yet. Like
we just got bigger than the balance.
We just got bigger than the balance because I bought the wrong size. Shock for me. So I got the regular bike.
Things that require sizes. And I have 9 trash cans right now, Tori.
Of course you do.
I'm not going to provide context for that.
Yeah,
Just
I don't need
was a
it.
complete
Yeah,
thought.
yeah. I mean, that's why my rats have a mansion, because I looked at the dimensions and I was like,
Yeah, that seems small.
reasonable.
Could
No.
climb in it
It's
themselves.
literally bigger than me. But so we got the regular bike, and I was like, we're not doing training wheels, right? Because I've like looked into all of this research about like learning to ride bikes, because pedaling's the easy part, balancing is the hard part, and that's why most kids, when you take off the training wheels, they just
flop
fall.
right over. Yeah.
But this child was like, she needed the training wheels. We tried it several times, and I was like, I'm gonna put the damn training wheels on. You win. We'll put the training wheels on, because this is making you panic, and that's not good. This isn't how we learn. So I'm like, we're gonna that's one of the goals. And my now bucket list item is to figure out how to put a bike rack on my car, because we have a great
oh my
neighborhood.
Gosh, please film that from start to finish. Film it.
It's gonna just be a lot of me crying. So
Classic entertainment. Now we are this summer. I'm so excited. I am so excited, Tori.
I'm so excited to hear why you're so excited.
My children can read.
Yes.
My children can read more or less independently books that feature complete sentences and tell actual stories.
Yeah.
I mean, they're simple stories. A lot of monosyllabic words in there, a lot of 2 syllables, sneaky E's all over the place, but they're telling actual stories.
Yeah.
It's not just a collection of random words next to big pictures.
Go, dog, go. I
Go,
hate
yeah.
that book so
I
much.
hate that book. There are so many books that I have learned that I have hated out of children's literature, not because they are poorly written, not because I think
They're
were
just
problematic.
boring.
They're boring.
They're so boring.
Insipid.
And why
I
are they
have
so
read
many
them
pages?
30 gajillion times.
Yeah, I think that's an underestimate. They just
It's an imaginary number, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
There's
so
some
sick
children's books I absolutely love. What
Yes.
the wild things are.
Yeah.
Though I would like to talk to that child's parents.
There's some latent trauma under there, I swear.
The Places You'll Go. That one, I love that one. But Go Dog Go can burn. Anyway, you were talking about your kids can read books.
My kids can read. So this year we will have one guaranteed outing every single week. And I know that we're going to be able to complete this because I know my ADHD confidently says stuff that never, ever happens.
Yeah.
We will be going to the library every Monday. We'll be picking out 5 to 7 books and then returning them on that Monday and picking a new 5 to 7 books.
I just got an email and my library books are late. Thank you for reminding me.
You are welcome. You've got, as long as you beat 2 years, they're really not late anymore. That's just how math works.
Yeah.
But there are summer reading programs, and we'll put the graphic up on screen. So as we're talking, if you're watching this on video, you've got like a whole graphic that you can screen cap or whatever. If you are listening on the podcast, you will just have to go to one of our videos. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube to get this little listy madoo, because I have said that we were going to put it on our individual Instagrams before, and we never remember to do that. So just know that if you want to see this graphic that's up right now with summer programs, summer reading programs, that you get free stuff for your kids reading books, you have to go to our videos.
Yeah. And I am excited too, because I love these programs, but we actually just picked up the papers for the Barnes & Noble one, because Barnes & Noble, there's like a reading journal, and your kiddo, depending on the age, they either have to read a book or a chapter, how it counts.
Yeah.
And it's like 10 books, and then they hand it in a certain time period, and they get a free book.
Yes.
And because we were at Barnes & Noble for Mother's Day, that was like my Mother's Day gift. I got to get a little book haul.
My bookish little heart is so happy.
Yeah. And
sidebar. So we're in a group chat. You got your Mother's Day present, and you shared your Mother's Day present by taking a picture of your book haul, to which all of our nerdy little friends responded by sharing our most recent book hauls. And here's what we discovered. There are four, I'm good at counting. There are 4 people in this group. Not a single one of us share a reading list. There are some titles that are shared, mostly because one of us would not shut up about that title and made the other 3 read it.
Yeah. And but we were just laughing hysterically at the diversity in the book. But I think that mine were the most predictable.
Yeah, yours were no. So Tori's recent book haul for Mother's Day was American history, American history, American history, American history. Maya Angelou.
Yeah.
And it was Where the Caged Birds Sing. A beautiful book, lovely story, amazing
I wanted
human
to
being.
add it to my physical library for quite some time. But
it was just shocking.
Book,
old dead white dude, old red white dude, old dead white dude. Maya.
No, but I got the Founding Mothers book.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I got a lot of U.S. history books. Listen, I'm in the weeds. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how long this one sticks. Okay, you remember I only listened to Noah Khan for like a year and a half. Okay,
right.
We'll see. We'll
How's
see where
Red
this
doing?
one goes.
Like we're on year 25, 26?
How old am I? 23.
23.
23.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But so anyway, there's these summer reading programs from Barnes & Noble, Books A Million. Book It is back for you millennials. Pizza Hut has brought back Book It, which I am so upset I cannot participate in because all of the Pizza Huts in my area have shut down. There aren't Pizza Huts close enough for me to drive to that I'm willing to, okay, yes, you've read 4 books. Let's go get a honestly mid-tier pizza.
Yeah, but it's exciting.
It's exciting, but we do have a Panda Express like almost next door, and they can get a free kids meal when they read 5 books.
If any of my kids would eat Panda Express.
But they also have Chuck E. Cheese. So there's a bunch of different summer reading programs, and check in with your local library because your local library will know which local businesses are also doing reading clubs.
And also, if you are looking for activities, this is honestly the main reason that I wanted to get my library card back. Mm-hmm. I can guarantee, no matter where you are, that your library has at least some sort of community events that happen for both adults and children. There's programming for each. Like our library has a preteen Dungeons and Dragons club.
Yes.
Like they have so many cool things, and we live in the middle of nowhere. So if you are looking for things to do with your kids, it's not just like mommy and me story time. They have stuff.
No, we
for
have
all
a Lego
ages.
club at ours.
Yeah, there's a gardening
all
club at
ages
ours.
Lego club, and they divide the rooms so the kids playing with the Duplos have someone watching them while they're playing with the Duplos. The kids playing the 3-in-1s, and then you've got adults building Death Stars and Star Destroyers.
Yeah,
and it's just everybody playing Legos, and everyone's super excited to. The library is a fantastic place. Also, most of them feature air conditioning. If you live in an area where air conditioning is not super common in homes, libraries are almost always air conditioned because they have to protect the books.
I was so excited at my most recent library trip because they have a local seed library now.
Nice. Yeah, we also have a tool library, which most people don't know. Check with your local library. If you have ever needed a random tool because something broke and you can fix it, but all you're missing is the wrench that fits this problem, you can normally go to your library, and if they've got a tool checkout program, they will check out a tool like a book. You can fix your thing and then give it back.
Well, and I think, unfortunately, many of us, the exposure we had to libraries growing up was just the school library.
Yeah.
And so we think of libraries as just the place where you get books. But there is so much more. Like, libraries are community spaces, and I love them so much that I did return the books after 3 years.
So plenty of opportunity to read. Check out your local library. And again, in this economy, transportation is always going to be a thing that you're going to have to figure out. And that's not always an easy solution to figure out. But the library can, in fact, fill a ton of space voids because so much of our routine is lost during summer.
Yeah.
We can make a whole new routine just looking at the free programming at the library.
Yes. So if you can't tell, Gwenna and I love books.
We love the library.
We love libraries. It's great.
Also,
time.
if you've ever felt bad that you're like, oh, I love this author, but I've never been able to support them because I only ever read in the library. You're checking out a book at the library still helps the author in innumerable ways. Yes. I can now safely say this as I now understand from the author side. Nope. First of all, that library had to purchase that book from me. And second, every time you check it out, I get another little boost in my little metric that says, hey, someone loved your book and checked it out.
I didn't know there was like metrics on how often they were checked out. That's so cool.
Depending on the library, not every library
Right.
can add to that because there is a piece of technology that they need. But yeah, no, I can see what my checkout rate is at various libraries, depending on what
So
system they use.
cool. Yeah, I just got really excited with my kid the other day because we found the American Revolution history section of our library for kids. But no, when I was getting my history books on Mother's Day at Barnes and Noble, my kid had found a book that she wanted. And well, you know me, I'm going to take forever picking out what I want.
Yeah.
So she was sitting in the kids section reading this book. And then she goes, oh, well, I finished this one, so I'll just pick up the next one. We can get that one. And I'm like, okay. You just libraried the bookstore. Love that for you.
Yeah. I definitely I was browsing and I was taking too long browsing, and my daughter had picked up a book and I watched her close it and put it back. I was like, did you just read that whole book? This was my older daughter who was deeper into reading. She was like, yeah. Okay, we're going to buy that one. Buy the second one in the series too. I feel weird consuming an entire book inside a bookstore and not taking it home with me.
I think
that feels like cheating.
I think it depends for me. And like, because the book she was reading was like a graphic novel that was kind of short. And I got a lot of history books. So I felt like that made up for it. You know,
those nonfictions are more expensive, man. So the other thing that we are going to be doing a lot, because where I live, there are not as many opportunities for outings. We do have a lovely zoo in Oklahoma City that is an hour and a half away from me.
Is it the Joe Exotic Zoo?
No, I said a lovely zoo, not a pen of animal. No.
Carol Baskin.
Carol. Whatever's happening with Joe Exotic Zoo. No, but my friend did send me a Happy Mother's Day with a Joe Exotic and his leopard skivvies. I was like, thanks. I hate you too. But so we are a big crafty and science experimenty family. We like doing stuff. And at first I was like, oh, we can't do that. That's lame. Like everyone's seen that a billion times. When I was working at the Science Museum, doing customer service and customer interaction and guiding guests through exhibits, one of the best pieces of advice I got from the guy who trained me how to do this job was, you only have to be funny 5 times. You just get to say those same funny 5 things 2,500 times a day. But you get to tell the same jokes every time. You get to use the same lines every time. I have seen someone put Mentos in Diet Coke at least 542,000 times.
Right. Of course.
I've seen it so much. And so I'm thinking, my kids do not want to just shove Mentos inside a Diet Coke.
With my kids a few years ago, and we had so much fun with it.
Right. I get to recycle the jokes. I get to recycle. Yes, I've seen it a good jabillion times. My kids are 6. They have, if they've seen it, it's still great. And I can guarantee you they've never actually done it.
Yeah.
They've never gotten sprayed by the Diet Coke gozer. Gozer?
We are so good at talking. We're like just professional.
It's like my actual job. Geyser was the one I was going for. So even if you feel like it's overdone, first of all, your kids will be the first to be like, Mom, I already know this. Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah. That's we are a super crafty family, as you know. I live in an art classroom.
Yes.
And one of the things that I do like throughout the year is and my kids know this about me, they laugh at me for it. If I see a clearance section at a store, I'm scouring.
Oh, same.
I have to. And so whenever I see a craft kit on like deep clearance, we're talking that $25 craft kit is on sale for $5. I'm buying it.
Doesn't matter what it is. That is coming home with me.
It's coming home right now.
I don't care if none of us have ever thought about doing a latch hook rug. We're going to do it now.
We've done the latch hook rug. Yeah. And so one of the things we end up doing in the summer is kind of all of those rainy day craft sets that we've put away. well, oh, we're bored now. Okay, cool. Let's see what this is.
Right.
And I know we do a lot of sciencey stuff too. And I know this year I do plan to show my kids how you can light a light bulb with a potato.
Nice.
Because it's fun. And the one thing, I got a craft kit recently and I started doing it with my kids. So this is now on my bucket list to finish this because I might have made a mistake. Okay. So I was at my local craft store and they're like rearranging the whole store. So a bunch of stuff was on like deep clearance. And there was this Van Gogh Starry Night paint by number that was marked down to $4.
Ooh.
Now, my littlest lady loves painting and is obsessed with Van Gogh. I mean, she has a Van Gogh stuffed doll with a removable ear so you can give it to your friend. Okay. And so I was like, this will be so fun. And so she sees it when I got it home. This is like a few weeks ago. And she's like, we can do Van Gogh. And I was like, we can do Van Gogh. And so we get everything out. And those they're so tiny because it's Starry Night and it's this massive poster and they're teeny tiny little boxes. And I'm like, you are a great painter who does not have the acuity of the fine motor skills yet for this. Yeah. Okay, I have to come up with a plan for how to do this with you because I didn't get this to do by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do, but we are doing something similar, but I did it on purpose. This summer we got a big diamond painting, but I made sure to get the one that has because there's two kinds. There's one that has squares and there's one that has rounds, and the squares just bump up right next to each other. And so I find them just a little bit easier to do. The diamond painting people are like making weird screeching sounds right now because I just said that I liked the squares better than the rounds. But trust me, I know. It's a weird little fandom. We are going to hang that on a wall. We're going to set a little rolling table up with this little setup. And our goal, our bucket list is to collectively finish this by the end of summer. Now, will I be doing the lion's share of sticking these little things? Yes, 100%. I will 100% be doing these things. It will mostly be me, but there is also going to be a 1,000-piece puzzle, which is well above any of our attention.
Puzzles.
I don't like puzzles either, but one of my children does. And we like having the sort of end result. So we are going to have 3 things that are just sort of permanent. Yeah. One of them is actually just a chore, but it is scraping up this stuff that's just it's a thing that we're fixing in the house. Okay. So if a child walks out and says they're bored over the summer, I'm going to say you can either go create your own game in your room because boredom is the first step in creativity, or you can do the diamond painting, you can do the puzzle, or you can do the scrapey doo.
The scrapey doo. I like the way you name things. And you know that even with all those options, you're still going to get whining.
I'm still going to get whining.
100%. Yeah. That's one of the things that we're doing, which I guess is going to be summer bucket list because, it's about to be summer as we're recording. My littlest wants to learn how to cook.
Oh, gosh. As I realized, it will be summer when this episode actually publishes.
Yeah. But she wants to learn how to cook and get in the kitchen and learn more about like nutrition stuff. It's just a curiosity. And so we're going to learn to cook together. And I am not going to be exhausted by that at all. I love having to hover over a small child trying to cut a vegetable. Doesn't stress me out at all. I don't have any anxiety.
Well, and that leads right to the next point. I think the second most challenging thing to me is the summer stomachs. Oh my gosh. These
get
children,
so hungry.
They're always hungry. And it doesn't, I've tried it all, and I do it and it does work. I mean, it's better if I give them an apple and some yogurt and some peanut butter and some crackers for a snack. So they just get a smaller amount of each of those things, as opposed to just tossing a Pop-Tart at them, which both happen in my house regularly.
It's about balance.
Yeah, but like, yes, they stay fuller longer when I've focused on, do they have carbs? Do they have fat? Do they have protein? Like, do we meet a nutritionally sound snack? Then yeah, they're going to go, instead of asking me every 7 minutes, they're going to ask me every like 9 minutes for a snack.
Yeah, we do snack plates a lot. We have like the trays with the, they kind of look like school lunch trays.
We 100% have actual school lunch trays. Like I bought us a set of school lunch trays.
I love that for you.
And we do summer charcuterie. So every day there is a plate that goes in and out of the fridge, and it's got fruit on it, and it's got crackers, and sometimes it's got pepperoni or stuff that can just sit on the counter and not be icky if it sits all day. And then it goes back in the fridge overnight, and then it comes right back out. And what needs to be addressed is just sort of added.
Yeah.
But
that's, we do the snack plates, and it's always too, it's like while you're cooking, I want a snack. It's good that you're hungry right now because we're about to eat dinner. And you don't understand it when you're a kid, like what that spoiling of the dinner means.
Yeah.
But it's like, I want you to eat the food that I'm actively cooking. And I don't want you to fill your stomach is so little. You're going to fill up if you eat that apple. You're not going to get any of this protein.
Well, my kids are very excited because my girl child has decided that she wants to write a cookbook. I don't know how all of these, I get how I want to write a book because mommy writes books. Like that's what mom does for a living. And she knows that mom writes books. Currently I have a giant poster of my own book sitting in the hallway. When you walk into my office, you see a giant poster of my own book. So she knows that mommy writes books, and she has decided that she wants to write a book. I was like, what kind of book? And I was expecting her to answer like a puppy or a princess or a castle. She goes, a cookbook. You have never once expressed any sort of interest in cooking. So I guess we're here now.
Yeah.
But I asked her, I was like, what do you want to cook? She goes, popsicles. Okay. So anyway, this summer we are making a cookbook of popsicle flavors. All the different ways you can combine juice, yogurt, fruit, water, the water flavor mixes to make popsicles.
If there isn't at least one act of cooking in your cookbook, I will riot. You have to cook one of the popsicles.
No, there shall be no cooking in the cookbook.
I'm offended.
But yeah, apparently that's something that she added to her thing. She wants to make popsicles.
I am sitting here I just keep asking my eldest kid to put writing a book on the bucket list because that kid's been
I have
writing.
begged your eldest child to put writing a book on the bucket list.
Has started at least 4 different novels, but then they come to me with these like really cool ideas, and I'm like, to turn it into an animation or a comic book. This is the coolest thing I've ever heard. Like they said to me the other day, if ghosts are real, don't you think it's like really crowded? Don't you think it would be really crowded? And I'm like, this is an incredible idea. We like talked about it for 20 minutes of what that would look like. And I'm like, why? Just animate it.
So here's like honest truth that's purely anecdotal. I was 7 when I decided I wanted to be an author, and I did that same stuff to my mom all the time. My first book came out when I was 40. So, just deep breath.
Yeah.
There's time.
Yeah.
I legitimately do not even know how many attempts I made. But speaking of things I wrote, this year, my children are home. I have no programming. I have no couple summers they were in daycare for a little bit. They'd go like a partial day just for the socialization. I don't have that this year. So this year, in order to avoid the chaos that always erupts when my family does not have a routine. This is not something I'm bragging about. Oh, we're a chaos family, because I say that a lot. No, this is the bad kind of chaos. This is the kind of chaos where we are always overstimulated. We are always understimulated simultaneously. Do you know how hard it is to be overstimulated?
That's how I live my life.
But I put together an entire schedule, and I know that sounds overwrought. Tori, you saw it. It is not deeply detailed.
Yeah.
There is a ton of ways to alter it, to change it. But I spent an entire day making themes for each of the 9 weeks of summer, planning out activities that match that theme, building in when we're going to the library, building in when we have screen time. We have an entire afternoon every single week. Just go rot on your screens.
That's wild that you do afternoons. For me, like my general summer schedule that
keep in mind, I'm an indoor kitty. All of the outside play happens in the morning because it is 112 degrees and I'm an indoor kitty.
Right. Well, I mean, and if we're doing something like outside, yes, mornings. But if like the plan for the day is to like do crafts or whatever the case may be on a regular day, and this is just the routine we fall into in the mornings, I require the kids do their daily tasks is what I was going to say.
Tasks,
we are so good at this. Their
my
daily
gosh.
tasks. And what that entails is self-care tasks. Your teeth have to be brushed. Your hair has to be brushed. You have to get changed. And then we kind of mosey through our morning, right? Like I'll make up some breakfast and then I'm going to sit on the couch and practice my French. And we're going to just kind of chill, right? Like you're going to be on the screens. I'm going to be on the screens. It takes mommy a little bit to wake up. Okay. But it's usually because my kids have an early lunch because they have early lunch at school. Like one of my kids has lunch at school.
Like 10:45.
10:30.
Yeah.
Lunch at 10:30. Okay. That's hardly even brunch. Okay. But so we usually do lunch around 11, right? So usually
you can still get breakfast in some places at 10:30.
Yeah, actually, I think isn't that the cutoff time for like
the
McDonald's?
cutoff time is sometimes it's 10:30, sometimes it's 11.
Yeah.
So there are still places exclusively serving breakfast when your child is eating lunch.
And I understand why that's the lunch time, right?
Someone has to go early and someone has to go late. Abby had one whole year where her lunch was not until 2 o'clock.
Yeah. And their cafeteria is like shared. It's this whole thing. So we do lunch usually around like 11. And that's typically, okay, lunch is that transition period into the things we're going to do. Now we're cutting the screens.
Yeah.
And even when, on the mosey mornings where they have the access to the screens, a lot of time they put something on the TV and then they're just like playing or doing or drawing or whatever, and it's kind of that like back to our day in the 90s when you're doing everything with like Nickelodeon is just playing in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I put together this whole schedule. It's loose. It's at least something that provides a routine. Okay, when are we going to do this thing? We're going to the Dinosaur Museum on Dinosaur Week on Wednesday. That's when we're going to see the dinosaurs. So that way I can definitely say we've built in a snow cone stand trip every single Friday, and we turned that behavior dependent. Yeah. So the snow cone is a reward. If we get through without doing this thing, or this thing, or we get through the week by doing this thing, and this thing successfully, yay, snow cone. And I can hear we don't use food as a reward. I get it. They have to walk their asses to the snow cone stand. They will be fine that food is the reward. They're taking a 1/4-mile hike for the snow cone. They'll survive.
Yeah, that's...
But this whole schedule is going to be available for download for completely free. Like I'm not charging anything.
The link is going to be in our show description. So... Yeah.
It takes you to Mama Cuss's website just because that's where it's uploaded. Yeah. And then you can download this whole thing. It comes with calendar. It comes with activity guides. It comes with recommendations for outings you can take. Now, fair warning for those of you listeners with younger children, this thing is targeted at school-age children. Why? Because it was made for my specific family that is nothing but school-age children. So if you've got littles, a lot of this is going to feel inaccessible in its rawest form. Now, a lot of it is absolutely like changeable. You can adapt it to be able to take your 2, 3, 4s out. But some of these things are like, well, what do you mean you just make a sundial and you go out? We're going to make a sundial because my children can read clocks. My children can read words and my children can write their own numbers. A sundial for a 2-year-old is probably a very silly activity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you've got littles, you're not going to find this super accessible, but there may be really good ideas that trigger something for you.
And a tip to parents who have kids with special interests, you would be shocked how many things there are to do that cater to those interests. Now, I have an elementary age child who is
Elementary.
obsessed with the American Revolution. Okay. That is it. That is not a particularly common special interest for a young child.
No, absolutely not.
Right. And so here's the thing, though, is that I have found so many different things that we can do. I mean, very soon, I mean, this will be before this episode comes out, but did you know 200 years ago, the Marquis de Lafayette came back to America and did his tour after, like, he was invited by President Monroe to come and tour the United States. And he spent like a year or two here, and he kind of went all over the country for what it was at that point.
Yeah.
They're doing a 200 Lafayette tour, and all over, everywhere he went, there are events that have been going on for the last year. And so they are happening in my area.
Happened in the place that you live in. Yes, you can go see it.
But that's just like one thing. Like there's the Daughters of the American Revolution, which is an organization. They put traveling exhibits in local history museums sometimes. And so it's like, does it take some work? Yes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, yes. But if you start looking into it, if you fall down the rabbit hole with your kid, I am nearly positive there's probably something that is at least adjacent enough to be like, look it, here's this thing for you.
My children and I this summer are going on a historical marker tour. There is a historical marker, and it is literally just a plaque on the side of the road that describes a trading post. And when we look up more about this trading post, do you know what we find? All of the information that's on the plaque and a picture of the plaque. We cannot find anything more about this Bluey's trading post that's like, or Blue's trading post that's like near where I live.
I am going to start looking into it. I need you to text me the name of that. It doesn't exist. I'm going to figure this out for you.
My Google foo is so strong. I studied history in college. They have marked this with the history marker, and that's all the history we get. So
I'm going to find it.
I know you will. But we're going to go on a history marker tour. We're going to get in the car.
Yeah.
We're going to take the iPad, and we're going to drive until we find one of these history markers. Now, my state happens to have a map of where a bunch of these are. But again, anytime you've tried to locate something on a map, it only gets you so far. Sometimes they're like, it's on the intersection of 1st and Main. You get to the intersection of 1st and Main, and it's around the corner, down the grate, and slightly down the hill from the corner of 1st and Main.
On our town square, there is a bunch of like history plaques, right? Because
also see geocaching.
Geocaching is wild to me.
Wild.
But there is this history plaque, and right above it, there is an arrow affixed to this brick wall pointing up so that you will look up and see what the historical marker is talking about, which is a cannonball in the wall from the Civil War. But it's like just this giant arrow is just on the wall. That's what you see. And you're like, oh, cool.
Yeah. In my area, we, last summer, we actually did a whole bunch we went to 3 different of the 8 or 9 that we have in my area, because Oklahoma's history is atrocious. Most of our history is horrific, how we ended up to be.
Yeah, no, I have been doing a lot of research into Native American history, and Oklahoma is...
We are a dark spot on the history record there. But we were able to go to the Chickasaw Cultural Heritage Center. We were able to go to the Choctaw Cultural Heritage Center, and we were able to go to the Seminole Cultural Heritage Center. There are others that we just did not make it to that summer. So we're going to try to make it to some of the other Native American sites and learn about the people who now call this place home. And then we have to very carefully deconstruct. Why do they call this home, Mom? They say they're from Mississippi. Okay. So, well, what happened was white people.
Yeah. We're going to end up on a totally different tangent.
We're going to get all sorts of flags on this.
One of the things I've been looking into is the, specifically like the revolutionary history sites around here, because Kentucky was not a state during the Revolution, but there was actually a lot that was happening in this territory, and also the local Native American sites, because that is a huge part of the history here. I mean, it's our entire country. It's a huge part of the history, but I am kind of learning in tandem and teaching in tandem. Like that's how I've been approaching it. And I don't know what I am going to do this summer when I'm not drawing historical index cards every day. I feel like I have to keep doing it. How do I?
So
I'm not
here's
good
what I
at
need you to do.
change.
I need you to email us at childproofmail@gmail.com.
Hooray!
Yay! I might actually have it memorized now. Email us at childproofmail@gmail.com what Tori should draw for the summer, only the summer. The portraits return when the school year returns. But consider the field is limited to an index card. It does have to be associated with history. But are we thinking we're drawing landscapes? Are we thinking we're drawing maps? Are we thinking we're drawing important items? Email us at childproofmail@gmail.com.
And I've done comic strips of like the different amendments of the Bill of Rights on index cards. I've done political cartoons. So
Important boats, because there was a lot of naval activity that we're not discussing very much.
Did you know that the first ever U.S. submarine was used during the Revolution?
So anyway, what should
It was called the Turtle.
What should Tori draw on
Made
index
of wood.
cards for the summer?
They made it of wood.
Hey, that was our timer. It was such an odd place to end. Thanks for listening to
Thanks
Childproof.
for
We want to hear
listening.
from you. Email us stuff about what Tori should draw on index cards. Email us what you are doing on your summer bucket list. And don't forget to download the summer survival guide from my website, mamakasas.com.
Yes, and be sure to give us a like, subscribe on YouTube and or Spotify and or anywhere else you listen to us, and turn on notifications.
Yeah, they help. We do need ratings. We love all the places. Be sure to check out Tori's Founding Father series on YouTube,
Which has totally been reworked. It will be eventually coming out, I promise. I promise.
My new book, The Soul's Guide to the After Death. You can also pre-order my newer book, Thinky Thoughts.
Yes.
I'm writing all of the things. And please stay tuned. This is going to be for a very specific group of people who have made it through our actual outro. We have a big announcement coming up.
We do. We are very excited. Also, we have merch, so like, look at that. We probably should have said that earlier, but
We
the
have a big
announcement's more
announcement.
exciting.
So download our merch or download our merch.
This is our job.
Remember, sometimes our kids are the assholes.
And sometimes it's us.
Mostly it's crashing out in real time.
Yeah, I'm so tired.